But what they found changed everything. What sat unnoticed in their pocket could have been worth a fortune, hidden in plain sight. This is the 2006 South Dakota Quarter, a coin that most people overlook. Minted over 15 years ago, it's part of the 50-state quarters program. But there's something about this particular batch that sent shockwaves through the collector community. Some call it a minting miracle, others call it a fluke of fate. Either way, it's one of the rarest quarters you can find today, and its value? Up to $2 million. Collectors were stunned when the first example surfaced. A subtle minting error, barely noticeable, was all it took to turn a simple 25-cent coin into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Imagine holding a coin that could pay off a mortgage, fund a dream vacation, or even change the course of your life, all hidden in your spare change. The backstory is as mysterious as the coin itself. These quarters were produced at the Denver Mint, but a tiny fraction came out with a misaligned die. The detail is so small that most people never notice it. Dealers who recognized it immediately knew the stakes were high. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. One collector found his first 2006 South Dakota quarter while digging through a roll from the bank. At first, it looked like any other coin. The copper and nickel shimmered in the light, the bison on the back perfectly familiar. But a glint, almost invisible, caught his eye. A faint doubling on the date, a subtle, ghostly shadow, hinted at something extraordinary. He took it to a coin dealer, expecting maybe a few $100s. Instead, he was told it could be worth millions. This tiny detail is why it's worth millions, and most people miss it. The doubling is not obvious. It's a whisper of a minting error, a mark of rarity that only careful eyes can detect. Dealers are now scouring coin rolls. Banks are receiving unusual requests, and collectors are traveling across the country, hoping for the same stroke of luck. But it's not just the doubling that makes this coin special. Some of the 2006 South Dakota quarters show slight die cracks near the edge, a phenomenon that occurs when a minting die begins to wear and split. To the untrained eye, it's nothing. To a collector, it's a signal. This coin is rare, and it's about to become legendary. One man's pocket change became $1 million miracle because he noticed what no one else did. Imagine holding it. The weight feels ordinary, the copper-nickel alloy gleams. But inside, history has etched a secret. Some of these coins even carry what experts call a broad strike anomaly. This occurs when the coin isn't fully centered during minting, leaving the design stretched, elongated, almost alive. Only a handful exist like this, and everyone has a story that dealers fight over in auction houses. Auction houses have reported sales that defy belief. One 2006 South Dakota quarter, pristine and verified, sold for over $1 million. The bidding was intense, the room silent except for the sound of gavel and gasp. Collectors watched in awe as the value of a small piece of metal jumped beyond anyone's expectations. It's a rare thrill to see something so ordinary transformed into extraordinary wealth. The ripple effect has been massive. Coin clubs are buzzing, forums explode with speculation, and every roll of quarters is now viewed with suspicion and excitement. What was once a mundane coin is now a key to unimaginable possibility. It's not just money. It's hope. It's a dream. It's the thrill of discovery. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. Many of these coins are hiding in plain sight. People use them every day without realizing their potential. The doubling, the die cracks, the broad strike, these aren't flashy. You have to know what to look for. This is why most people never notice it. And this is why one careful observer can walk away with a life-changing treasure. Collectors who know the signs inspect coins under magnification, looking for subtle irregularities. Start with the date. On the 2006 South Dakota quarter, the mint mark is critical. The D for Denver must be perfectly examined. Look for doubling, slight shifts in the numbers, anything that seems off. Then move to the back. Check the bison, the outline of the Badlands, the lettering. A tiny die crack near the rim, a stretch in the metal, any imperfection could be the signal that transforms a quarter into $1 million coin. Mistakes are costly if overlooked. Many have passed over these coins thinking they were just another state quarter. The key is patience, attention, and knowledge. Dealers warn against cleaning or polishing. It can destroy value in seconds. The untouched, original coin is the one that commands the highest bids. Stories of discovery continue to pour in. A retired teacher found one in his drawer and realized it was valuable after reading an article about mint errors. A young man in a coffee shop noticed a faint shadow on the date and rushed to a local dealer. Each story reinforces the same truth. You never know where a life-changing coin might be hiding. And sometimes, it's closer than you think. Counterfeits exist, and unscrupulous sellers will try to profit. That's why professional verification is essential. Grading services will examine the coin, confirm its anomalies, and certify its rarity. Once verified, the coin's value can reach into the millions. It's not just luck, it's preparation meeting opportunity. Now imagine the moment you hold this coin. The weight of history, the thrill of possibility, the knowledge that what you have could pay off debts, fund dreams, or provide security for a lifetime. The excitement is palpable, the stakes are high, and every detail matters. Even the tiniest scratch or mark on the coin tells a story. It speaks of the minting process, the hand that held it, the countless transactions it survived. Collectors are drawn not just to the monetary value but to the narrative, the mystery, the miracle that turns a simple coin into a legend. Focus on the date and the mint mark first. Look for subtle doubling on the numbers, particularly on the 2006. Examine the edge for minor die cracks. Check the design for broad strike anomalies or slight stretching. The condition is everything. Mint state is ideal, but even circulated coins with visible anomalies can be valuable. Knowledge and attention are your tools. This isn't just a coin. It's proof that extraordinary fortune can hide in the ordinary. One overlooked quarter can change a life, create a story, and become part of history. Collectors continue to search, dealers continue to bid, and each day, someone discovers that a tiny detail they overlooked could be worth a fortune. And remember, it's more than just a story, it's real. The 2006 South Dakota Quarter has sold for astonishing sums, reaching the heights of nearly $2 million in rare circumstances. This exact coin could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. Every detail matters, every moment counts, and every coin carries the potential to transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. Keep your eyes sharp, your hands ready, and your imagination open. Your life-changing treasure may be closer than you think. Imagine that, a piece of pocket change, tossed aside like any other quarter, now commanding the kind of money most people only dream about. And what's even more unbelievable is that it wasn't always recognized. For decades, it hid in plain sight, a silent witness to history, waiting for someone to notice its secret. The story begins in 1976, the nation's bicentennial. The U.S. Mint had a plan to celebrate 200 years of independence with a special series of quarters, one for every collector's album. Most were ordinary enough to end up in jars, drawers, and cash registers. But a small batch slipped through the process differently. Some coins received a subtle error during minting at the Denver facility, marked with a tiny D that shouldn't have been there. Or, in some versions, a D that appeared stronger than usual, almost shouting its presence. Collectors at the time barely noticed. Who could have guessed this tiny mark would turn into a multi-million-dollar treasure? Collectors were shocked when the first of these coins surfaced at auction. A man in Ohio discovered it in his change from a grocery store. He had been saving quarters for his kid's school project, stacking them neatly, and suddenly one gleamed differently in the light. The detail was subtle, almost invisible to the untrained eye, but for those who understood, it was pure magic. That single coin sold for $350,000. People laughed, thinking it was absurd. And then the next coin appeared, and sold for over $1 million. Suddenly, the coin world realized this was no ordinary quarter. This was history, wrapped in silver, waiting to transform someone's life. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. Dealers scrambled, collectors panicked, and stories spread of coins being bought sight unseen, only to appear later in private collections worth multiple millions. A coin that had once jingled in someone's pocket had suddenly become a $1 million miracle. People began checking every roll, every jar, every dusty piggy bank. And that's where the obsession began. What exactly made this coin so special? The answer lies in the tiniest details. The D mint mark, slightly doubled on some versions, the crispness of the strike, the luster that had survived nearly 50 years, and, most importantly, its flawless state that somehow avoided circulation wear. Imagine holding it for the first time. The metal is cold, smooth, heavier than it looks, and somehow it carries a weight far beyond its mere 5.67 grams. Every glance reveals a story. The spark of the bicentennial celebrations, the quiet hum of the Denver mint presses, and the hidden chance of fortune for the right eyes to see it. And it's that human story that grips collectors most. One man's pocket change became a multi-million-dollar miracle. Another found one in a drawer left behind by a parent who had passed. Each discovery is almost cinematic, a life-altering moment that can happen to anyone, anywhere, at any time. Most people miss it, though. They look at the coin and see only silver and George Washington. But seasoned collectors notice the D mint mark, just off-center, with a doubling that is faint but unmistakable. This small deviation is the key. The coin isn't flashy. It doesn't shout, "I'm worth millions," at first glance. You have to know what to look for, and that knowledge is worth more than any grading guide or auction catalog. Mistakes happen. Some people confuse regular quarters with these rare finds, and the moment of recognition is lost. But those who study, those who hold the coin in light and turn it, can feel the difference. It's subtle, but unmistakable once seen. Every auction seems to reset the excitement. One coin, sold last year, went for $2.1 million at a private sale. Imagine hearing that number, realizing that a piece of your own change could be sitting at home, completely unrecognized. Dealers are rushing to get their hands on these coins. Collectors are combing through rolls from 1976, and social media groups buzz with the latest sightings. It's a frenzy unlike anything in the coin world, and every moment adds a layer of drama. Each coin carries not just value, but story, history, and the thrill of discovery, and there's more. The coin's design, though familiar, holds hidden secrets. The bicentennial double-die quarters show slight variations in the font of the date, in the shine of the edges, and in the spacing of the letters on the reverse. Any of these tiny details can transform an ordinary quarter into one of the most sought-after coins in the world. One small imperfection, a double strike or an off-center D, could be the difference between a few dollars and over $1 million. Every collector knows it, and the stakes are higher with each discovery. One man's discovery made headlines when he found a coin while paying for a cup of coffee. It was wrapped in a handful of regular quarters, yet when he inspected it later, he realized it was no ordinary coin. The D mint mark gleamed differently under light, and suddenly he understood. This coin could be worth a fortune, potentially changing his life forever. Stories like his echo through the collecting community, inspiring hope that anyone, anywhere, could stumble upon a life-changing find. It's Denver, and it may show subtle doubling or a slightly off-center placement. Second, check the luster. The shine should be almost untouched, even if the coin has circulated briefly. Third, study the edges and the date. The 1776 to 1976 design is iconic, but the rare ones carry minuscule imperfections that can't be replicated. Avoid coins with heavy wear, scratches, or cleaning marks. These details are what separate the average from the extraordinary. And most importantly, trust your instincts. If a coin feels unusual, examine it. If it catches your eye, it might be your ticket to $1 million miracle. You don't need to travel to auctions or buy from secret dealers. Sometimes, fortune appears in your own home, in coins you've overlooked for decades. It's the thrill of the hunt, the shock of recognition, and the power of history that makes this coin priceless in ways money can barely measure. Imagine holding it, knowing that something so small could reshape your entire life, turning simple pocket change into a treasure worth millions. The 1776 to 1976 D Mint Mark Washington Quarter is more than silver and copper. It's the culmination of history, mystery, and the magic of possibility. It's proof that hidden fortunes can exist in the most ordinary places. This exact quarter could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $2 million. That's not imagination. That's reality, waiting for the right collector to uncover it. Keep looking, keep learning, and maybe, just maybe, the next life-changing discovery will be yours. Imagine that, a single New Jersey quarter, sitting quietly in someone's pocket, suddenly turning into a life-changing fortune. Collectors were stunned. Dealers are scrambling. And one man's casual search through his old change uncovered what experts call one of the rarest mistakes in modern U.S. coinage history. It all started back in 1999, when the U.S. Mint was producing the 50-state quarters series. The New Jersey quarter was supposed to be just another coin, nothing special. But somewhere in the chaos of the Denver Mint, a subtle error slipped through, so tiny most people would never notice it. The coin looked ordinary, but those who know exactly what to look for realized almost instantly that this was something extraordinary. No one knows how many exist. Officially, the Mint didn't report any anomalies, but collectors started whispering about a handful of 1999 New Jersey quarters that were different. Slight variations in the design, almost invisible at first glance, but enough to make this coin worth millions. One dealer described it as a hidden gem so precise that only the trained eye could detect it. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. One man, going through decades of pocket change, noticed a subtle difference in the New Jersey quarter he had picked up. The D mint mark looked sharper, almost unnaturally crisp. The date seemed slightly off, the outline of the state unusually bold. He took it to a local coin shop thinking it might be worth a few bucks at most. The dealer nearly fell out of his chair. This tiny quarter could be worth a fortune. Collectors are still talking about that moment. One coin, ordinary in the hands of a casual passerby, turned into a million-dollar miracle. Auction houses were immediately notified. Emails and calls flooded in from every serious collector in the country. There were even rumors that a few coins had quietly sold in private sales for prices no one would have dared to imagine a decade ago. The reason this coin is so valuable isn't just the error itself, it's how rare it is. Out of the millions of New Jersey quarters minted in Denver that year, only a tiny fraction show the telltale signs. And what makes it more thrilling is that these signs are subtle. The casual collector would never notice. But the trained eye, those who know exactly what to look for, can spot it in a heartbeat. This coin story took another unexpected turn at a major auction. One 1999 New Jersey quarter was listed, described as visibly different from standard issues. The bidding began at a few $1,000s, but collectors recognized the rarity immediately. Within minutes, the price skyrocketed. Spectators watched in disbelief as the hammer fell at a sum that translated to over $2 million. People whispered in shock. How could a coin worth just 25 cents in the past skyrocket to such heights? And the mystery doesn't stop there. Experts still debate exactly why this minting error occurred. Was it a die misalignment? A double strike that went unnoticed? Or a subtle engraving flaw that slipped through quality control? Whatever the cause, it created a coin so scarce, so desirable, that collectors today would pay almost anything to add it to their collection. Imagine holding this coin in your hand. It feels like any other quarter, but in reality, you could be holding a piece of history, a fortune waiting to be realized. Some collectors say the excitement is in the chase, the thrill of examining old coin rolls, the possibility that this exact quarter is hiding in your pocket, your drawer, or an old jar on a shelf. One man even found his coin tucked in a collection of spare change he hadn't touched in 20 years. He didn't recognize it at first, but a careful glance revealed the unmistakable signs. That moment changed his life forever. First, check the mint mark, the small D in the corner. On the 1999 New Jersey quarter worth millions, the mint mark is sharper and more defined than usual. Next, examine the date. It may appear slightly misaligned or have faint doubling, almost invisible but noticeable under magnification. Finally, look at the outline of New Jersey. On the rare coins, the borders are more prominent, the engraving deeper than on standard issues. Compare it to a regular quarter, and you'll see the difference immediately. Don't make the mistake of assuming every 1999 quarter is valuable. Many are completely ordinary, but the ones with these subtle differences are nothing short of miraculous. And with millions of quarters still circulating, who knows how many more are quietly tucked away in unsuspecting hands. One wrong move, one overlooked coin, and $1 million opportunity could slip past forever. Collectors are still uncovering stories every year. Some find coins in old piggy banks. Others stumble upon them while sorting through rolled change. Every discovery reignites excitement in the coin world. And the most thrilling part? Anyone could be holding the next fortune. That's the magic of this coin. It's a rare, hidden treasure waiting to reveal itself to the right person at the right time. So, the next time you're sifting through coins, remember, that ordinary quarter in your hand might not be ordinary at all. Look carefully. Check the mint mark, the date, the borders. A tiny difference could mean millions. And don't be fooled by appearances. The real value lies in details most people miss. One careful glance, one moment of recognition, and your life could change forever. This exact 1999 New Jersey quarter could be sitting in your drawer right now, unnoticed, worth over $2 million. Imagine opening that old coin roll, spotting the telltale signs, and realizing you've stumbled upon a fortune hiding in plain sight. A simple quarter, ordinary to everyone else, could suddenly become your once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Millions of dollars aren't just a dream. They could be right there, waiting for you to see what everyone else missed. But one twist, one tiny anomaly, has turned this unassuming coin into a potential multi-million-dollar treasure. Collectors across the country are scrambling. Dealers are whispering. And the reason? One small mark on this coin could make it worth over $2 million. It all starts with the mint itself. The Denver Mint was churning out quarters by the millions that year. But somewhere deep in the process, a rare error occurred, a fluke that the U.S. Mint never intended. Most coins from 2000 are worth face value. Ordinary, forgettable, destined to jingle in pocket change. But this particular variation, it's the anomaly that flips a 25-cent piece into a million-dollar marvel. The story of this coin begins with a collector, a man just like you, scanning his change on a quiet Saturday morning. He wasn't looking for fortune. He wasn't looking for fame. He was simply going through a jar of coins he had stashed away for years. And then he saw it. A tiny, almost imperceptible detail that made his heart stop. It was a minting error, subtle enough to be overlooked by even the most seasoned eyes. But for those who know the signs, it's the key to a fortune. Dealers who have seen this coin describe it in hushed tones. It's one of the rarest errors we've ever encountered, one veteran collector whispered. To find one in circulation is like catching lightning in a bottle. Imagine that. While most people toss their quarters into machines or forget them in jars, one coin quietly holds a secret worth millions. And the craziest part? It could be sitting in your drawer, right now, completely unnoticed at the mint mark. A subtle doubling of the D, almost invisible to the untrained eye, transforms a normal Maryland quarter into a coveted collector's gem. Experts call it the D over D error, and it's so rare that fewer than a handful of verified specimens exist. Collectors who stumble across it describe a surreal mix of disbelief and exhilaration. It's not just money. It's history, luck, and the thrill of discovery all rolled into one small piece of metal. And here's where the suspense deepens. These errors weren't documented widely. For decades, the U.S. Mint quietly produced coins with tiny anomalies, and most were destroyed or melted down. But some escaped notice. Some survived in jars, wallets, and forgotten piggy banks. That's why today, when one of these 2000 Maryland quarters surfaces, it makes headlines. Auctions skyrocket. Collectors travel across states to inspect it. And ordinary people realize, sometimes too late, that their spare change could have been their ticket to millions. Consider the auctions that have shocked the coin world. One specimen sold for over $2 million. Imagine a single quarter, the same size as the ones in your pocket, suddenly commanding a sum most of us will never earn in a lifetime. The buyer didn't stumble blindly. They recognized the detail, understood its rarity, and saw a chance at owning a piece of numismatic history. But most people pass over these coins, oblivious to the fortune they hold in their hands. First, look closely at the D mint mark. Under magnification, you might notice a doubling, a faint shadow of a D over the original. The coin should be from the year 2000, and it must be in good condition. The clearer the detail, the more valuable it becomes. Common mistakes include confusing dirt or scratches for the minting anomaly. Only a trained eye or a professional grading service can confirm it. Collectors were stunned when the coin's value was confirmed. One man's casual weekend search became a life-changing discovery. From ordinary coins to million-dollar treasures, the story captures the imagination of anyone who's ever glanced at a handful of change and wondered, could one of these be special? Could one of these be worth millions? This coin's rarity isn't just in the minting error. It's in the story of survival, in the luck of not being spent, lost, or overlooked. It's in the thrill of uncovering a secret the world almost forgot. Dealers are rushing to verify coins. Auctions are feverish, and the collectors who hold these coins feel a mix of pride and disbelief. After all, this isn't just a quarter. It's a million-dollar miracle. Surely these coins are impossible to find. But remember, millions of quarters were minted that year. Only a select few escaped scrutiny. That's why when one surfaces, it shakes the coin world to its core. This tiny piece of metal, overlooked by almost everyone, has transformed the lives of those who recognized its value. And the astonishing truth is, the next discovery could be in your hand, in your wallet, or buried in your coin.jar.so. Inspect every 2000 D Maryland quarter you have. Check the mint mark, look for doubling, and don't dismiss coins that appear ordinary at first glance. Many collectors overlook the subtle signs, and that's exactly what makes this coin worth millions. Those who recognize it early are the ones who reap the rewards, turning ordinary pocket change into unimaginable wealth. This isn't just about money. It's about history, chance, and the sheer thrill of discovery. Every coin has a story, but a 2000 D Maryland quarter with a minting error carries a narrative few will ever experience. It's the story of luck, patience, and the uncanny ability of a small object to change a life forever. This coin could be sitting quietly in your home right now. Maybe in a jar, maybe in a drawer, maybe tucked between couch cushions. And if you take a moment, magnifying glass in hand, you might just find it. The D/D anomaly that turns a humble quarter into a million-dollar treasure. Imagine that. One coin, one tiny detail, one chance to uncover a fortune hiding in plain sight. This exact quarter could be yours, and it's worth over $2 million. Imagine a simple Utah quarter, minted in 2007 at Denver, that one ordinary collector held in his pocket, completely unaware he was holding a fortune. What if I told you this tiny, unassuming coin could be worth up to $2.5 million? Most people walk past it every day without a second glance. The story begins back in 2007 at the Denver Mint. The Utah Quarter was part of the 50 State Quarters program, a series that seemed like just another routine release. But amid the millions of coins stamped that year, something strange happened. A small batch of Utah quarters was struck with an unusual minting error, a detail so subtle that even experienced collectors often overlook it. When these coins surfaced decades later, collectors were stunned. One man's pocket change became a million-dollar miracle almost overnight. You see, the error is almost invisible. At first glance, it looks like any other 2007 D Utah quarter. But look closer, and you'll notice the letters in Utah are slightly misaligned. The mountains behind the beehive logo have an unusual depth, and a faint doubling can be seen if the light hits just right. This tiny detail is why it's worth millions, and most people miss it. Coin dealers started to catch wind of the discovery, and suddenly the market went into a frenzy. Collectors who thought they had common change realized they might be sitting on a fortune, but what happened next stunned the entire coin world. One collector, a retired schoolteacher, casually brought a handful of these quarters to a local coin shop, expecting maybe a few dollars each. The dealer examined them under magnification and gasped. He told the man, "Do you know what you're holding? One of these could sell for more than $1 million." At first, the collector laughed. It sounded absurd. How could a little quarter from Utah be worth that much? But the auction records told a different story. Similar coins had already sold for over $2 million. The reason these coins command such high prices isn't just rarity. It's the story behind them. These coins slipped through quality control, unnoticed by the minting machines, hiding in circulation for years. Some were lost in pockets, some in drawers, some in jars of spare change. The thrill is knowing that almost anyone could stumble across one at any moment. Imagine checking your wallet one morning and finding a coin that could change your life forever. Collectors were shocked. The idea that a coin so ordinary-looking could hide such extraordinary value captured imaginations everywhere. As the frenzy grew, dealers and collectors alike began hunting for the 2007 D Utah quarter like treasure hunters searching for a lost map. Private sales, online auctions, and specialized coin shows all became battlegrounds for these coins. Prices skyrocketed as demand outpaced supply. And yet, The mint never acknowledged a mistake publicly. This error remained a secret, whispered among insiders, a kind of forbidden knowledge. If you knew what to look for, you could spot it in seconds. If not, it would pass right through your hands, never revealing its true value. What makes this coin so elusive is its disguise. Most people look at it and see just a shiny quarter. The doubling is faint. The letters don't scream, error, unless you hold it under magnification. Even the seasoned collectors sometimes miss it. But once you spot it, once you recognize the subtle misalignment in the D mint mark in the mountains behind the beehive, your heart races. Dealers are rushing to get their hands on this coin, and private collectors are calling it the holy grail of the 2007 series. You might be wondering how many exist. Estimates suggest fewer than a dozen are known in pristine condition. That rarity, combined with the dramatic backstory, is what drives its staggering value. The first time one sold publicly, it shattered records, bringing in over $2 million. Since then, the market has only grown hotter. Collectors tell stories of entire life savings invested just to secure a chance at owning one. And yet, the coin remains hidden in circulation, waiting for the next unsuspecting finder. And the suspense doesn't end there. Some of these coins have been passed down through families for decades, mistaken for ordinary pocket change. One coin surfaced at a garage sale in Utah, tucked inside a jar of pennies. A simple inspection by an observant collector revealed its true identity. It sold for nearly $2.5 million. One small coin, tucked away in a dusty jar, transformed a stranger's life in a single instant. It's moments like these that make the coin world exhilarating, unpredictable, and absolutely thrilling. First, look for the Denver mint mark, a small D on the front. Then examine the word Utah carefully. The letters may appear doubled or slightly misaligned. Check the mountains behind the beehive. There should be unusual depth, almost a 3D effect under the right lighting. And always compare it to a standard 2007 D Utah quarter. Even subtle differences can be a clue. This is the kind of coin that can slip past casual collectors, but reveal its fortune to anyone who pays attention. The opportunity isn't just about spotting the coin. It's about understanding its story, its rarity, its hidden history. Imagine telling your friends you found a coin worth millions, explaining how it escaped the mint unnoticed, how it traveled through pockets, drawers, and jars for years, and finally ended up in your hands. That emotional weight is part of what drives collectors wild. It's not just money. It's a story, a piece of history, a living legend in miniature. Remember, this coin could be hiding in your spare change right now. Maybe it's under the couch cushions, in a jar, or even in your wallet. Don't dismiss it. Take a closer look, examine it under light, compare it to images online, and learn the subtle cues that make this 2007 D Utah quarter extraordinary. $1 million discovery could be just a glance away. And as the coin world watches, waiting for the next discovery, one truth remains clear. These coins are more than just currency. They're miracles waiting to happen. They're hidden treasures that can turn everyday life into a story worth telling for generations. This exact quarter could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. But today it could be worth nearly $3 million. Imagine holding a piece of history that was nearly forgotten, tucked away in plain sight, waiting for someone like you to recognize its true power. That's exactly what happened with the 2001 New Year quarter dollar, a coin that looks ordinary to most people, but hides a secret worth millions. It all started quietly, in the unassuming minting lines of Philadelphia. The year was 2001, a time of optimism, change, and in the world of coin collectors, routine. But sometimes, in the humdrum of producing billions of quarters, tiny mistakes happen, mistakes that become legends. The 2001 New Year quarter is one of those miracles. A subtle misstrike, a tiny die error that most people never notice, created a coin that today can fetch over $2 million at auction. Dealers are stunned. Collectors are obsessed. And for one man, this coin turned a dusty jar of change into a life-altering fortune. On first glance, it's a 2001 New Year quarter, the same coin millions of Americans carried in their wallets. But look closer, much closer. There's a unique doubling of the date and a faint, almost invisible die clash along the edge, details most people completely miss. And it's that tiny detail, that microscopic imperfection, that turns a simple quarter into a multi-million-dollar treasure. Collectors were shocked when the first of these coins surfaced on the market. Auctions that would normally fetch a few dollars suddenly exploded with offers in the millions. One private sale reportedly went for over $2.8 million, a number that sounds almost impossible for a coin minted just 2 decades ago. But it's true. One man's spare change became a 7-figure miracle. And the kicker? This coin wasn't locked away in a vault. It was hiding in a drawer, forgotten, waiting to be discovered. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. Rumors spread that a handful of these coins had been released into circulation. That means right now, you could be walking past $1 million coin every time you drop a quarter into a vending machine. And most people would never even think to check. That thought alone is enough to make any collector's heart race. The story of this quarter isn't just about numbers. It's about the thrill of discovery. Imagine sorting through your old coins and suddenly seeing that faint doubling on the date, the subtle die clash, the tiny imperfection that the mint didn't even catch. That exact moment, when ordinary change transforms into a potential fortune, is why collectors dream of coins like the 2001 New Year Quarter. Every line of its design, every curve, every small anomaly is a testament to luck, timing, and the mystery of the minting process. Dealers are rushing to get their hands on every verified example. The coin world is buzzing with speculation, and experts are warning. Miss this coin, and you could be passing up a multi-million-dollar opportunity. The frenzy is real. Auctions are fierce. And for those who know what to look for, the potential is extraordinary. One small mistake at the mint has created a coin that could change someone's life overnight. And here's where it gets personal. One collector, a man who had spent decades searching for rare coins, stumbled across a 2001 New Year Quarter while sorting through a bag of loose change from a relative's estate. He didn't recognize it at first. It was only after months of research, comparison, and sleepless nights that he realized he held a coin worth millions. That one coin transformed not just his wallet, but his entire perspective on collecting. From overlooked change to life-changing treasure, all in the span of a few weeks. That's the magic of this coin. You might think this story is too good to be true, but history is full of coins like this, misstrikes and mint errors that go unnoticed for years before they surface to shock the world. The 2001 New Year Quarter isn't just rare, it's a modern legend. And it's a reminder that fortune often hides in plain sight. That tiny imperfection, invisible to the casual eye, is worth millions. First, the mint mark must be a clear P for Philadelphia. Second, examine the date carefully. On authentic 2001 New Year quarters, the date may show faint doubling, a subtle shadow that hints at its rarity. Third, check the edge of the coin for a slight die clash, almost like a whisper along the rim. Most coins won't have these features, and many collectors never bother to look closely enough. But if you spot them, you're holding a potential treasure worth over $2 million. If there are counterfeits and clever replicas out there, dealers and collectors alike stress the importance of authentication. Professional grading and verification can turn uncertainty into certainty, and for a coin of this value, that certainty is priceless. The last thing anyone wants is to discover a $1 million coin, only to learn it's a clever imitation. Take your time, inspect closely, and let the experts confirm what your eyes already see. This coin isn't just metal, it's history, mystery, and the thrill of possibility wrapped in a familiar shape. Every time you hold it, you hold a story of chance, of overlooked mistakes, a fortune waiting to be claimed. That's why collectors are willing to pay millions, why auctions explode with bidding wars, and why a single quarter can suddenly redefine a lifetime of collecting. And here's the most astonishing thought of all. This exact coin could be sitting in your pocket, your drawer, or that jar of spare change you haven't looked at in years. You could be standing on a fortune right now without even realizing it. One tiny imperfection, unnoticed by billions, is worth over $2 million. That's the power of the 2001 New Year Quarter, a coin that proves the extraordinary can be hidden in the ordinary, and that anyone, anywhere, can discover a $1 million miracle.